Big Mao just hit 260. Pyrros Dimas is leaving USA weightlifting. And Karlos Nasar is back in training. All of that and more in this week's episode of the Weightlifting House News Show. Now, before we get started, make sure you head to weightliftinghouse.com to check out the products chosen by champions. You can get 10% off your first order of Weightlifting House apparel and 3 for 2 across our entire supportive equipment range. Everything we sell is chosen and worn by champions. You can check it all out now at the link down below. Okay, so Big Mao did it. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago where we saw his teammate hit 220 in the jerk, then it sort of clipped and it looked like maybe he was about to unrack 250. And then finally, we see he didn't miss the 250. He probably made it and then went up to 260. Behind the neck, it's absolutely massive. I mean, you never really see anything over 270. Yeah, such a big lift. And Team Samoa just looking incredible, which leads us on to our next lift perfectly. 17-year-old Seine Stowers. We've spoken about her so many times. You hit that massive back squat. We've seen her snatching heavy. She just did off blocks a 115 kilo high pull plus snatch. I mean, the thing, when I saw it, I said internally to the team, I was like, she's going to snatch 120 off blocks very soon. You know, the fact that she pulled that first rep so high and then under some level of fatigue was able to get under it and stand it up. I think 120 off blocks is going to happen. 115 from the floor probably is going to happen soon. As a teenager at 77 kilos in body weight, she's absolutely phenomenal. If you're not following that Samoan weightlifting page, you've got to go do it. It's crazy what they're doing. Next up, we have one of maybe the best name in weightlifting. It's Mango Prince David Tarro. Philippines under 65 kilo weightlifter. He just went 127, 157 in competition. It looked like the comment said that he was commemorating his lifts to his coach, Alvin de los Santos, who recently passed away. So really sad to see that happened, but amazing for him to put up such a good performance and dedicate it to him. So 127, 157 at 65 kilos in body weight, by the way. So very strong. I then took a little look on his Instagram page and I saw a lift, which I don't remember us covering, and it's from Albert de los Santos, who some of you remember. He's an absolutely incredible junior 71 kilo lifter. This is from a few months ago, 255 back squat, weighing 70 kilos, age 19. That's 3.64 times body weight. 255 weighing 70 as a teenager. We are not all born equal. And we don't all work as hard as one another. I've got to say that too, but we're not all born equal. That is just remarkable strength. Okay, moving over to Japan, we have Azuma Rakuei, who we've seen a couple times recently. This week, a 230 back squat for a set of 10. He's a 79. I think he must be going up in body weight. Last week, he was wearing the I Win, You Lose Weightlifting House Karlos Nasar shorts. This time, he's wearing the Dream Team shorts. So that's kind of cool. But he has very, very strong legs. Doesn't really lose much speed or position throughout the set of 10. Clearly in like a proper GPP, hypertrophy, old school LSUS style block of training to be doing a set of 10. You don't see it that often from the highest level of athletes, but when you do, and it's at 230, you've got to mention it. Next up, let's talk about Karlos Nasar. Karlos Nasar, Olympic champion, multiple time world champion, world record holder. He is finally back in training. Okay, so I spoke to him. He has been training. He's been training for a little while. He then went to Belmeken with his new manager, who I've been in talks with recently. They're both now in Belmeken training, and these are sort of some of the lifts that he hits there. On Monday, so a few days after you see this, he's then traveling to Varna, where he's going to be out with the team, which is really good to see. And he'll be in a 4-week training camp in Varna before heading to the European Championships on the 19th of April, which, by the way, you will be able to watch at Weightlifting House TV. We haven't mentioned it yet, but don't worry, we're going to stream the whole thing. Every A session will be live there. So the first video he posted was a 100 kilo sumo deadlift, and it was just kind of like, all right, are we back on this like 51 kilo overhead squat thing? We're not actually, by the way. Karlos isn't working with Milko anymore, and as a lot of you know, unfortunately, he's no longer working with Litkov, but he does have another great team around him, which is fantastic to see. But the 100, almost like a bit of a troll, it looked like, and then suddenly a 110 muscle snatch for a double, which is actually very, very impressive for him at his body weight, kind of like 94, 95, to be moving that weight with so much speed past through the hip. Was really good to see. 150 kilo squats. Again, this whole sort of like post with the sumo deadlifts, the muscle snatches, and then the squats at 150 where he's like focusing so hard on keeping his knees out. It's very like, some of you who've been around for a while will know what I'm talking about. It's very 2010 Kelly Starrett, becoming a supple leopard stuff, torque in the hips, all of that sort of stuff. Which is interesting because then in his next post, we actually see him lifting properly, and that stuff kind of goes out the window. A 150 kilo snatch, then 160, and then the 170, I thought looked really good. I mean, honestly, it looked kind of like, I thought 150 looked the worst, actually. The 170, I think it looks right now, and he's 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out from competing, so he's got bags of time. I think it looks like he could be snatching high 170s right now, maybe 180, which is fantastic to be in that kind of shape. And then the clean and jerk did 190 and 210. And again, I thought the 210 looked really good. The reason I was messaging, because I saw it and I sent him and his manager a message. And I was like, guys, why isn't Karlos wearing his belt and his knee sleeves and stuff? And because obviously he's got his I win, you lose line with us. And I got a message back and it was like, it's just classic Karlos, to be honest. Went out there, he lost all of his stuff. He always does this. He just turns up for training camps without anything. I think because he has so much stuff these days. So we're sending him a new package of everything, which is going to Varna instead of Belmeken, because that's where his new training camp's going to be. By the way, if you want to check that stuff out, the Karlos Nasar leggings, shorts, t-shirt, we've got a new t-shirt coming with a sick graphic on it. I'm very excited. We'll drop that during the Europeans. And then obviously his leather belt, Velcro belt, straps, wraps, sleeves, all that stuff you can check out. And obviously that's partly how he makes his money. So if you want to support Karlos, you can do that through his range at weightliftinghouse.com. I'll put a specific link to that down below. But just really good to see him. I mean, 170-210, I think for him to be doing that 6 weeks out from competition is really good. His world records are Oh, well, the world record's changed, obviously. Yeah, so the world record's actually very easy to beat. His all-times, though, are 189, 228. 189, I mean, to beat that, I'd need 190. That might be pushing it. But, the current world record in the category is 182, so I'm sure he's going to be capable of those sorts of numbers. It's just how high he wants to go. I would really love to see, I think we would all like to see, perhaps more than anything would be a 230 clean and jerk. What would you rather see, 190 snatch or 230 clean and jerk? I almost feel like I might take the snatch, actually. 190 snatch at 95. I mean that is, or 94, sorry. That is crazy. 230 would be wonderful to see, but we haven't seen a snatch of that level in decades. Whereas a clean and jerk, we've seen a few people at that body weight. Sarab, Tian Tao, Ilya, we've seen that kind of lift. I'd love to see the 190, but it's about, I feel like he owes us a 230. He's teased it so many times, so hopefully that comes soon. Okay, let's move on. Jang Yeon, the Korean, now 110. He's been all sorts. It's been 96, been a WLHOUSE. He just did a 160 snatch triple. It's just classic South Korean, like the catch is so, I don't know if it's how they select for their athletes or how they train, but it's so soft in the shoulders and then dangerous in the elbows with a little bit of bend. But, the South Korean team is so strong at the moment. Speaking of South Korea, Yeong Hwan, who I mentioned last week, and I think I referred to his physique as that of a Lego character. And I got some messages about that, and I stand by it. And I see it as a very positive thing for a weightlifter. It's an unbelievable physique. He's just like a brick. He's just so strong and solid looking. It's crazy. Like the way he catches that 240, like he barely sneaks under it, but nothing budges. So yeah, he smashed 240 again. I think he's a real deal in the clean and jerk. Next up from Nigeria, we have 77 kilo Sarah Matthew. She just back squatted 200 for a double, wow. We messaged her about it. She replied, she said, sincerely, I was tempted to squat it for 4 reps because it wasn't heavy at all, but I resisted the temptation. And yeah, I kind of believe she could have kept going. Amazingly strong athlete. And a snatch, obviously, she's now in the mid to high teens. If she can push into the 140s in the clean and jerk, she's a world medalist. So very exciting times from her. Joseline Gonzalez, the Mexican 53, 55. We don't exactly know what her body weight is at the moment. We spoke about her a few weeks ago. She did that 124, which is ridiculous for that body weight. She just snatched 90. She clean and jerked 115, and she hit a 150 kilo back squat. I thought those 3 lifts certainly all worth a mention on the news show. Then we have Solfrid Koanda from Norway, Olympic champion, multiple time world champion. One of the most inspirational, incredible weightlifters ever, to be honest. 175 kilo front squat, fast. I think she did 55 for a few, 65 for a few. She unracked the 75. The way that it moved, I thought, okay, she's going to have to go for more reps here. But she didn't. She just kept it clean, kept it nice, really smooth. And then there was another video of her attempting doubles in the snatch at 120 and 121. Now, she didn't make any of the doubles, but the fact that she's attempting those is very promising. Obviously, she's got the European Championships that you can see at Weightlifting House TV coming up in about a month's time. But the fact that she's at that range where she's already hitting it for like easy guaranteed first reps and then attempting doubles, her single must be, around the 125 range at the moment, which is incredible. She's also one of 2 women competing at this European Championships who have been a world champion, which is astonishingly low, surprisingly low. A lot of European champions have retired or moved out or whatever. World champions, within Europe. So you've got Solfrid, and then you've got Anastasia Hopfrid, who was world champion in the very short 90 kilo women's weight class, which didn't last for long. So a little bit of info for you. Next up, Sergio Massidda, 170 kilo clean and jerk. The Italian, best lifter on the men's side, returning from injury. He's going to be at the European Championships, which is exciting. I guess he's a 65. I'd be surprised if he was going in at 71. I don't think he's strong enough to go in at 71, but at 60, he was a 61 and always lifted well at 67. So for me, 65 is pretty bang on. 170 clean and jerk looked very nice. To bear in mind, like the best in the world record is 82, I think, Hampton. We saw Osbeck make 178 when he went 6 for 6 and became world champion. So Sergio, that didn't look like a true max. He's probably got mid to high 70s. So I think it's safe to say he's back in shape. He's also one of the better snatchers. He can probably push to that 140 range as well. So it's exciting from Sergio. Then Emily Campbell, Team GB, finally training. Well, she has been training for a while, but finally posting some heavy lifts. A 160 kilo jerk. Didn't look that heavy. And to be honest, it's not the most impressive thing we've ever seen from her. I mean, we've seen her clean and jerk more than that. But we don't get to see her lift that often. So it just felt worth talking about. 145, 50, 55, 60. She's got a long road ahead. She's had many injuries. She's 2-time Olympic medalist. She's a 5-time European champ. She's going to become number 6 at this European Championships. So crazy longevity. She's just got to stay healthy because this qualifying period, which starts in Ningbo in October or November, it really credits an athlete who can just stay consistent. And for her, she doesn't need to be hitting 290. She needs to be hitting 260, 5 competitions, and then go to the Olympics and then hit 290. So it's going to be an interesting quad for athletes like her. And then finally, we've still got more. Miranda Ulrey, got to mention her again. I think it's a few weeks in a row now. She just did a 110 hand clean jerk. She's a 53. So just as a reminder, like at the World Championships, 114 was a silver medal by Mihaela Kambe in the 53s, I think. Miranda hit 115 at the Arnold Champ. So to be doing 110 in a complex like that. And actually, it got me thinking, you don't see many of the elite lifters, particularly outside of the USA, doing hang cleans in this way, sort of like a clean and then lowering it into a hang. You see way more. You see some hang snatches at the super elite level. You see block snatches, and you see block cleans. You don't see as many hang cleans, I noticed. So, yeah, very good stuff from her. And then I think, did she just jerk 120? I think, am I Yeah, I think she did. We should put that in too. That's a big lift. Okay, speaking of USA weightlifting, Pyrros Dimas, 3-time Olympic champion, 4-time Olympic medalist, has decided to part ways with USAW. Extremely amicably, I might say, despite some people wondering if it wasn't, but I think it definitely was. He said, and there's a lot of stuff you can read, but part of his quote was that, I'm incredibly happy with everything we've achieved together. Seeing the growth, the records, and the medals has been rewarding, but watching your development as competitors has been the true highlight. And really, when you think about it, I mean, the amount that Dimas has achieved with USA weightlifting, 2017 to 2026, I mean, you've had, in that period, you've gone from Sarah Robles being like the best weightlifter, and it was just unbelievable that anyone could medal at a world level. And then suddenly Kate Vibert comes in, world champion. Jordan Dela Cruz, hitting massive totals. Matty Rogers through to Olivia Reeves, Hampton Morris. I mean, the growth of USA weightlifting over the last 9 years has been insane. Of course, you cannot put all of that down to Pyrros Dimas. I'm sure he's responsible for a important but small portion of that. But I'm sure his impact has been measurable and will be felt when he leaves. So shout out to Pyrros. I always love seeing him at competitions. He would always say, he'd come up to me. I'd say, "Hi, Pyrros," and he'd say, "Good to see me." And then normally he would sort of like poke me or pinch me, slap me on the back and leave. But that was his thing. Nice to see me. And it was always nice to see him, but he knew who he was and he knew that we were all more excited to see him than he was to see us. So great stuff there from Pyrros. Next up, story. Enzo Kuworge. Do you guys remember him? The super heavyweight from the Netherlands. He is back, finally. I mean, I'm a big fan of Enzo. Like I've met him at so many competitions. Really nice guy. And it was so disappointing that his international performances had kind of stopped. And he used to tell me little bits about it, but we couldn't really talk about it. Stuff to do with issues and fighting with the federation, and there was a lot going on. But basically, he was not able to compete for years, really. And finally, he has made the switch to compete for Germany. And he announces it with a 196 kilo block snatch video, which is pretty sick. I mean, 196, that's just colossal. I think in the Bundesliga recently, we've seen like 185-ish, 235. Did he power clean 225 recently? Crazy. So anyway, I thought I'd read out a little bit about what he said. Quote, "As many of you know, the past years have been challenging when it came to returning to international competition. The full story is longer than what fits into a post, but the most important thing is this. I'm done losing time. I found a new home in Germany, a place where I can train at the level I expect of myself and fully realize my potential. I proudly represent the Netherlands for as long as I could, competing at my first Olympics and being the first weightlifter since 1968 to represent my country on the Olympic stage. It always meant a lot to me, and I will always be grateful for those moments. But that's not where my story ends. That's the beginning. I am ready." And I will say, Team Germany, in my opinion, is going through a... actually, let me caveat that. The German coach is like so good. He is really good. Okay, and then finally, it wouldn't be a news show without him, is Abdo Younes. No foot power snatches. 145, 150, 155, 160, no foot. When you go no foot, to some degree, you're reducing the output at the top. You're staying more in control, you're staying more connected and fixed to the bar with your upper body. So you tend to not be able to put it as high. But he pulls it high enough to power snatch it, 160. It's just a devastatingly impressive lift. And then moments before I came and recorded this, he did a 200 kilo. You know, I was like, oh, I called out to people. I was like, 200, Abdo. And I watch it and I go, oh, it's a clean and a front squat. And he jerks it. So more and more excitement from the Egyptian legend. Well, he's not a legend yet. From the Egyptian, the young Egyptian. Very exciting stuff from Abdo. Top 3 lifts of the week. Let's decide. Okay, Enzo 196. I'm not counting Abdo. I just can't do it again. Karlos 170. It's not the most impressive, but the way he did it, I want to hear what you think. And then Seine Stowers 115, pull plus snatch off blocks, age 17. Those are 3 vote down below. Head to weightliftinghouse.com to get the products chosen by champions. I'll see you all next week.